it's one of those, if you can envision the highway, all of our lanes were wide open going into the city, and every lane going out of the city was obviously bumper to bumper. So it's a weird feeling that what are you going into? You really don't know. All you know is that everybody who's in there is trying to get out.
Let's go to NBC's Carl Quintanilla now, who's joining us by video phone. He's in New Orleans.
There was a sense that, okay, this is going to be not a passing storm. And what I remember the most was the glass of the hotel, the glass exterior of the Hyatt. All the windows were just shattering. The winds were so strong that debris was flying into the windows. I mean, 20 stories up, easy. Everywhere here there are signs, both large and small, that Katrina was here. I don't think any of us had the feeling 12, 24 hours in that this was going to be anything more than a big category hurricane in a major metropolitan area. We figured we'd do some stories about rebuilding and move along in a few days. But then the levees changed all that.
You're gonna be all right.
As levees like these were breached today, the flood of water has made utility repairs impossible. Heather Allen, who was a bureau chief for NBC News at the time and was running logistics for this coverage, got everybody together. And I remember Heather said to all of us, if you want to go, now's the time. Because after this, we really can't guarantee that we can get you out of town safely. Searching for survivors from 500 feet.
Guys on the stairwell.
These Air Force chopper pilots spot a man on the porch of his flooded house.
You want to send them down, talk to them?
They lower onto the balcony.
The guys aren't responding.
And moments later, another New Orleans resident refuses to leave home. It was amazing. Again and again, we would get near these homes, and one of the National Guardsmen would either signal to the person on the roof or try to get close to them and come back in the chopper and said, he doesn't want to go. He doesn't want to go. Well, we got to move on.
They're going to have to take them out by force because people think they can just stay through this.
Residents were stubborn. They had lived through so many hurricanes where it was okay. They stayed and things worked out, right? That's part of living in hurricane zones is, the media is going to tell us it's bad. It's not going to be so bad. We'll stick it out. This is one case where that was not the smart move, and it came back to bite a lot of people. Each encounter gets more and more profound.
We got people in three-story houses that's still trying to survive out in the houses.
We got to Napoleon Avenue, flooded, and all these volunteers had brought in airboats, their own airboats, and were trying to make their way through these neighborhoods to rescue residents. This young couple swimming in the water, they said, my father is stuck in a house. Can you please help us? And there's a line there as a journalist, what do? Do you say no? You got your job to do, but there's literally someone right here asking for your help. And we all just made the decision, we gotta help this young woman and this young man. It's this kind of urban warfare that makes life even more difficult for those trying to rescue and deliver relief. How are they supposed to get to people when they've got to go through gunfire on their way there? We were out in the city shooting, and we saw a gunfight. We saw a gunfight between the police and this became a trial that went on for years, but a shootout at the Danziger Bridge. Police were nervous. There's no doubt about that. And it was hot, and they had very little sleep, and they didn't know what people had in mind, and just tempers were flaring. I think that's what made us the most nervous. Inexplicably, in a town with no power and none in sight for weeks, armloads of TVs. Even some police went shopping, but wouldn't talk to our cameras. The looting was curious in that they didn't seem to care that our cameras were right there. Looting post-hurricanes is sort of part of the process in a sad way, but it didn't surprise us other than they just didn't seem to have much shame at all. They were going for it no matter what. I've been back a couple of times, some for work, some for fun. It just always strikes me, and it's hard to understand if you've never been there, or certainly if you're not from there. But if you really are a Louisianan and you're from New Orleans, the affection they have for not just the city, but the city's past and its traditions and its history, they were never going to give up on this town or what it stood for.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and then click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.